Home is a place where you entertain, relax and spend leisure time with your loved ones. So it makes sense to give extra special detailing and attention to all the areas. Welcome to Idea Dream Home Season 5. We are on a mission to find out the best home in Kerala, and helping us do that are a panel of judges, Arun Vidyasagar and Anna Kuruvilla. Now, what I want to know from you today is what are the current trends in handrails? We'll start with you, Arun.
You can do handrails with just about anything. You have to decide what kind of style your house is, and then you can pick up materials. The most common ones you see is wood, next is mild steel, you have glass, you have alternate stuff like stainless steel. You have stainless steel in various varieties. You have brush finish, you have glossy, etc. And the one that is not so much common in use these days is cast iron, but cast iron also can be used in certain situations. Everything you choose is based on the kind of house you are in. So there is no point you can take a stainless steel handrail and put in a very classic house to look like an odd man out. The same thing happens when you go for a very contemporary style mild steel and glass combination in a traditional house. Like just now I said, the cast iron girls go for a very little classic Victorian kind of style of interiors. So you have to choose what kind of style you need, and then you go along with that.
Okay. Yeah. Anna, would you like to add something?
Yeah. Also, the type of handrails also depends on where it's located. Like if it's in a prominent place, right in the living room or in places where other people, then you have to pay more attention. Earlier, the height of the handrails was only around 85 centimeter. Now, it's always desirable that you raise the height of the handrails because it prevents children or somebody toppling over. So that thing should be taken care of. You can mix all these materials like wood, brick, glass. Glass is something that's really being used these days. But then when you're using glass for handrails, you have to make sure it's tough in glass. Otherwise, from that height, it might cause a lot of. It is a hazard. Then you have bent kind. If it's a straight staircase or if it's a spiral staircase, even glass you get to bend it these days in those ways. But sometimes you find people making use of this handrails as storage spaces. As you climb down there, it might be a small nice place to store away your old books or something. You can totally avoid all these. Have a brick wall instead of handrails, any of these materials. So a lot of possibilities and how much space you give for the handrails, and everything should be taken into consideration.
So let's move on to the visuals of today. The contesting house is called Litewind from Paravur. It's about 4,500 square feet.
Welcome friends to Idea Dream Home Season 5. I'm at Litewind House in Karimalur, Ernakulam district. Now, this house is approximately 4,600 square feet area, built in a traditional style. The house is placed on a 1 acre land. Special emphasis has been given for the farming. The natural vegetation lays the foundation of the basic landscape area. The house has been built keeping in mind the traditional aspects to go in sync with the overall theme. Spacious sit-out area right next to the entrance. I also see a lot of windows on the exteriors, so I believe a proper ventilation and lighting has been provided inside the house. The living area has been built one step below to keep it separate from the other areas of the house. The main attraction of this particular area is indeed its elevation. Its double wall height and then windows have been provided on the upper floor where we can see that windows, so it helps in the cross ventilation and lighting of the entire house actually. And for the flooring they have used vitrified tiles. The walls have been painted in a light color scheme and the same color tone have been maintained for the deco as well. Transparency truly exists between the entire areas of the house. Right, just by standing here, you can get the clear pictures of the upper floor too. On my sideways, the pathway leads us to the 2 bedrooms. Rest 3 bedrooms are located on the upper floor. A mural painting of Sri Lord Krishna has been placed right at the entrance, showing the different stages. It surely emphasizes on the spirituality of anyone who enters this house and transfers the blessings to it. Big and spacious area for the dining space. It's an 8-seater long dining table, glass top dining table, situated quite close to the kitchen itself. Then to talk about the ventilation lighting, well, windows have been provided on either sides of this particular room. You can also get a clear visual of the outside world. So a lot of greenery and ventilation flows in throughout this house. A wooden cabinet crockery shelf is situated right next to the dining table. And talk about the flooring, well, they have used vitrified tiles throughout this house. The kitchen has been done with a colorful tinge attached to it, especially the segregation between the breakfast counter, as the table also acts as an evening snack corner, then the other parts of the kitchen. Well, the flooring used is matte finish vitrified tiles. They have done granite slab. Wooden cabinets have been provided below and above. It's a modular kitchen that's connected to the work area as well as storage space. The main hall was divided into the dining area, a special puja space, and the wash area is located right beneath the staircase. A common toilet also hasn't provided. Now the granite pavements and a steel handrail with a curved staircase design takes us to the upper floor. The staircase wall has been done with using windows, which helps in the ventilation and lighting as well. The staircase led us to the upper lobby. It's all as a family seating area. Comfortable sofas adorn this particular space. They have 2 bedrooms on this particular floor. They also have a family lounge area, the family TV viewing space, and a balcony adjacent to it. Windows exist on the upper floor too, like we had seen in the floor below, on the either side, which helps in the cross ventilation and lighting. For the flooring, they have used gloss finish vitrified tiles.
That's a house with lots of windows. Anna, what is your impression about the exteriors of this house?
I would say this is a very normal house that you would see in these days. It is a house, again, like you said, with lots of windows, and that too the windows are with double shutters, like one in the top and one in the bottom. There is a truss roof on top. Nothing much has been done about the landscape other than the natural vegetation that's all around the house. Maybe a little too many windows in the elevation. They could have, and the number of shutters have also are there more. So it's a lot of wood in there when you look at it from the exterior.
Okay, and Arun, what do you want to say?
The house has got a large plot, but I don't think it is utilized to the full. There is no drama or anything created by reaching the house. We see vegetation, but it's not very organized. It's very as is where is condition, and the house doesn't have a specific style or anything. I think it just looks like fitting into the requirements of the client. Nothing more has been done to do some character into the house, and the roofing on the top seems like an afterthought, which came and kind of does not blend with the structure at all. And we see a lot of windows. It may be functional, and we see it open. That is really good. Usually some houses with lots of windows, we find it closed. So this time we see it open, so at least it's functional. Other than that, I don't think there is any specific thing to comment on for the exterior. It's just a very basic house, like what she told, something that has been here for a long time.
Okay, so after the basic exterior, is there something which stands out in the interiors for you, Anna?
Lots of double height spaces in the inside. The living room, there is a small area. It's not exactly a courtyard. There's a mural that's given. Even that area, it's double height. Where the mural is given, they could have accented that wall a little more so that the mural stands out. They've just put a velakka in front of it that kind of blocks the view to it from a distance. There is a difference in the flooring when it comes to that area. They've gone for a darker granite floor there. They've got a dining table that's like heavily worked. Looks like they love to collect things because there's a crockery shelf next to it. There is a curio cabinet, and I noticed they've placed a lot of soft toys also on top of the crockery shelf. When you're looking at it from our side, like when you're judging a house, those things should be in the kids' room, not in the public places. And one good thing that I liked was in the kitchen they have a small bay French window, and they've put the breakfast table in that. That must be a very nice place to sit and have your breakfast. That's close to the kitchen. Kitchen looks practical. That I would say was a highlight of this house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arun, what do you have to say?
There's a lot of double height, like what she was selling, but they are really tall, and I think each floor is also tall. So that coupled with the double height, it becomes like a very huge space. So that is something they should have thought about, because all that area you are not going to access on a daily basis. So it's, on a practical service point of view or maintenance point of view, it's going to be tough for them. But nonetheless, it gives them a better quality of air inside, because the hot air will never stay in the lower level and it will just move it. And we see that the windows are open, so that means they love to keep it open, because they also have a big plot, so it makes a lot of sense. Then as far as the furniture character is concerned, they don't have a specific style or anything that is followed. They have very ornate tables, chairs, slightly heavier side sofas, and even kitchens are not very heavily done, but they look very simply done. Next is the stainless steel handrail, I would say. I don't know whether that gels with this house. People kind of go into doing this stainless steel just for the sake of the luster, the shine what it brings in, but it doesn't have any relation towards the house. Then the next is the bedrooms. Bedrooms is the area where suddenly colors appear. We have very bright colored backdrop walls and bedspreads, and nowhere else you see that kind of variation. I think that's about it.
So how well have they played with color and the decor?
They don't have any color at all except the bedrooms. They've kind of kept it simple. The only brightness you see is the mural when you enter, and that too is in the way. So it is not in a space where you can actually appreciate by having some space to see it. and furniture and everything is basically wood and predominantly wood. They have not gone for a lot of false ceiling either, so that is some good thing. So color kind of is the same throughout except for the wood and the dash of color in the bedroom. And lighting is really good, natural lighting. They have not used so much of artificial lighting. They have a lot of windows which give them natural lighting. So I think that is kept at minimum.
Okay. What do you think, Anna?
They have much more than a dash of color in the bedroom. It's actually a lot. Suddenly there's a big change. It's a lot of beautiful natural light inside the house. They've only played with tones of yellow and brown and orange. Other than that, there's nothing much happening, nothing that's very distinct. It's a simple house.
And talking about the ambience, what do you think?
I'm sure this is a very well ventilated house because of the double height and also with so many openings to the outside. Climatically, I'm sure it will be wonderful to sit inside the house and even outside. But when you look at it from an architectural point of view or from an interior, there's nothing that stands out. So I would call it average.
How about you, Arun?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's a very functional house. They have not tried so much on the exterior and the interior. They have put in the right amount of furniture, apt for the use. So, like what she was saying, on a designer's point of view, there won't be so much to show it, but it is very functional. And like what she was telling, the hot air will not stay there, because they have a lot of openings in the lower level and in the upper level. So I think it's a very well ventilated and well lit, naturally lit house, and the ambience is appreciable.
So getting down to the scores, Anna, how much have you scored on the exterior?
Exterior is very simple and plain. I've given them 16 on 25.
And how about you, Arun?
Yeah, they have not tried to do anything particularly different. They've just gone about a very simple design, and I think I'll score them 16.
So Anna, how much have you scored them on interiors?
Interiors, there is this height that is inside. They've created a lot of volume inside the house, and that has a good effect in terms of the climatic condition when you look inside the house. I've given them 17 on 25.
Arun?
They've tried to do something, but it's not reached anywhere. Just like the exterior, they have a lot of attempts made in each space, and each space looks functional. I think for that I would give them 17.
17 on 25. And how about color and decor?
They have very little color, and decor, I don't think there is any really connecting factor between the spaces. I think I'll score them 17.
17 on 25. Anna, how much have you scored?
Other than the bedroom, the color or in terms of curtain or something, I don't see any splashes of, there is nothing to excite you. I've given them 16 on 25.
16 on 25. And coming to ambience, Anna, how much have you scored there?
Ambience wise, I would give them more marks because it feels, it looks as if it's a very pleasant place to be. It'll be very comfortable inside the house. I've given them 18 on 25.
18 on 25.
I would give them 17 on 25.
So we have the final scores from our judges. Both Anna and Arun have given a score of 67 out of 100. The public has given a score of 33 out of 50. So the total scores are 167 out of 250. Don't be afraid to experiment. Mix and match with all the different things that is available in your house to reach a stage that makes you happy. Be creative and keep watching Idea Dream Home Season 5.